All right, in this video, we're going to go over how to set up your employees and your payroll, and using this payroll setup interview that's built into the QuickBooks program. So when you purchase payroll, if you're going to process payroll through QuickBooks, first of all, you have to choose which one you want to process through. We have another video on that. So if you're going to process the payroll, you've already chosen which payroll, which different version you're going to use, basic, assisted, or enhanced, okay? And now you're ready to go ahead and start doing your payroll setup, right? So we go up here to employees. You're going to go down to payroll setup. Okay, it's going to load the payroll setup here. All right, so we're going to start with our introduction here. And notice the live community does pop up. You can close that if you want to right there, and then just widen this back out, okay? They do have a payroll setup checklist which comes with the program. I really like this little checklist, but it can look overwhelming. You look down this list here and you're going, oh my gosh, where do I get all this information from? But it really is helpful to print it out and read through it, okay? Obviously it's an older one here. All right, so you have your payroll checklist there. And then you can go to your company setup. Okay, so the company setup, we're going to discuss how, what type of compensation do you have? And we have another video that goes over all of these different types of compensation. Also your employee benefits, okay? So company setup, compensation, it has a couple of preset compensations here. If you wanted to edit this and say regular pay, okay, what account type is its expense? It goes cost of goods sold. Maybe regular pay is not an expense. Maybe it needs to go to cost of goods sold instead of the expense account. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and add a new, and it's going to be an hourly wage. Okay, so you have all these different choices here. Say next. Shows in paychecks. How do you want it to show up on the paycheck? And just say tech hourly. All right. Does it have time and a half? Does it have double time? Yes and yes. We go ahead and say finish here. Okay, again, if I edit this, I can come in here and choose which type of account it is. You can, make it one of these expense accounts here. I'm just going to go ahead and say cancel for now. Okay. Now I move on to the employee benefits. All right, since I have all the compensation set up, so it's just going to take you through. Do you have insurance benefits? It has workers' comp set up already, but you can add new insurance benefits. So maybe some health insurance, other things, HSA plans, anything else that could possibly come in as a benefit to your employees. All right, so if I wanted to add health insurance and say next, company pays for all of it, employee pays for all of it, or we split. So we're going to go ahead and split. Are you splitting it before or after taxes? Okay, so you make sure that you have the right setup. You want to make sure you talk to your insurance provider and that you have the right setup. So payment is deducted before taxes if it's a Section 125. Say next. Who's the payee? Health Insurance of USA. Okay, what's the account number over there? All right. How often do you pay them? Monthly on the 10th. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and say finish there. So now it adds the two different items there, the company paid and as well the employee paid portion of the health insurance. So that's all we're going to add for now on the employee benefits for insurance. We do have retirement benefits. You can choose if they have a 401k. All right. If you have an IRA, 401(b), all these different choices you have here for your setup. We're just going to do a 401k. Say next. Who do we pay it to? The 401k master company. What's our account number over there? Okay, how often do we pay? All right, monthly on the 15th. Finish. Okay, so it adds here for me the 401k matching, so if the company decides to match it, and also the 401k for employees. Okay, so it can withhold that and put it into a 401k payable. All right, so doing this setup right now, it doesn't give you much option or much control over where these different items go. This setup basically allows for you to go through the setup and let Intuit decide, let QuickBooks decide what's best, like which accounts these need to go to, okay? So in part, it's great because if you don't know, then they do it for you. They just choose which accounts it needs to go to. But on the other side of things, if you do know and you don't want too many accounts, then it can be kind of frustrating that they just choose for you. So be sure to watch this video using the payroll setup, as well as the video on how to set up payroll manually. Okay, pay time off. We have sick, hourly, salary. If I go ahead and edit this, again, which account do you want to go to? All right. And then we have miscellaneous here. So they have a miscellaneous health insurance. We're going to go ahead and delete that one. Oh, it's being used somewhere else because this is a sample file. It does have direct deposits too, which is considered a miscellaneous item as well. All right, so we finished here. I'm going to go on to continue and go to our employee setup. All right, so again, with this payroll setup interview, it's kind of gets a little frustrating because you do have to enter all the information at once right here. And so if you go ahead and let's go to Dan T. Miller, and we can say edit. We have Dan T. Miller, all his information here. Okay, it gives you the required fields, of course. Next, what kind of employee is he? What's his social security number, birth date, hire date, excuse me. You can put birth date down here. Next, what type of salary does he use and how often? So we pay him every other week. He's on a salary. Notice that you put in here the total salary amount for the year. It's not very good sizing on that, is there? Let's widen that a little bit. Nope, doesn't want to let us. So the total salary amount for the year here. There we go. And if we were doing an hourly, you'd put in the per hour rate here. All right. Let's go ahead and say next there. What type of information, what type of benefits does this employee receive? So does he do the 401k? Does he do a 401k? Does he want to submit a 401k every pay period of, $100 with an annual limit of $1,200? Okay, that's his preference, what he filled out when he filled out the 401k paperwork. Does he have any company paid health insurance? Does he get any benefit from the company, like the company matches it maybe? $25 to a max of $600 as well. All right, go ahead and say next. So here is the sick time calculation, 40 hours. Dan T. Miller earned 40 hours at the beginning of the year. Unsick hours, what happens at the unused sick hours. So we have an accrual limit, all right, or we can increase, or it's use it or lose it. Okay, a lot of times with the sick, it's use it or lose it, right? What's the maximum amount of hours that they can accrue? And do they earn vacation time, basically? So he does earn vacation time, or he gets no time off until, so he's allowed to take time off now. So then it gives you your current balances here if you have some available. So it's telling it, we're saying we had 40 during the year, but we're setting up our payroll mid-year, so he only has 20 left. Okay. Again, vacation time. You can do it on a per paycheck, per month, per year, at the beginning of the year, per hour even worked. So in this one, we have it set up that he earns 6.45 hours of vacation per paycheck. And you can change that around. It could be on a per person basis. All right, what do you want to do with vacation hours, unused vacation hours? What's the max number of hours that they can accrue? Can Dan currently earn time off? So can he take time off currently, or is he still in his first 90 days? How many hours does he have currently, when you're doing this payroll setup? And then And then you can go ahead and say next. Okay, so set up payment method. There's a couple different payment methods that you can do. Very cool things nowadays. You can have the direct deposit to Intuit pay card. So essentially your your employee gets a credit card, and for no additional charge, the money gets sent over to the credit card. And they can go and process, they could take it to the grocery store and buy things on the credit card and, whatever. So it's essentially like loading up a bank card with a certain amount of money. All right. I like that the chat comes up right in the middle here. Okay, so you can have it direct deposited into the bank. So first of all, bank card, you have to do that setup. You can have it direct deposited right into his bank account. What's the account number, name, routing number, account type. And if he has multiple accounts that he wants to enter the information or have it deposited into, you can put, some into his bank account and some into his savings account, or some into his bank account and some onto a pay card. For now, we're just going to leave it as check. All right, go ahead and say next. What state is this employee working in? California, California. While working in 2015, did Dan T. Miller live or work in another state? Yes or no? Okay. And then all the information from their W-4, right? You have your filing status, your allowances, if you want any extra withholding, okay? Then you have some non-resident alien withholding. Again, if you have a question about that, you can always click on the explain here. But if you don't, again, if you don't know this, maybe we need to be talking about assisted payroll so someone else can be responsible for the payroll. All right, so are they subject to Medicare, Social Security, unemployment, earned income, tax credit? Yes, 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 yes. Okay, then for the states, you can come in here and say how do they want to file on the state level. So a lot of times I used to, on my federal, I would just claim 0, right? But then on my state, I would come in, claim 0, and still have to do an extra withholding to give enough money into the state. Okay. All right. And then again, if you're subject to any local taxes, in San Francisco, they have some special local taxes that you can have and in different states. All right. So we're going to go ahead and say next. So based on the different rules, you can set up which different wage plans you have. If you have state, let's see, exempt from UI, so it's exempt from unemployment. So you can choose which wage plan you have, and you can get your code information here. It'll take you online, right, to go get all that information. And then you can just go ahead and say finish. Okay, so all this guy's information is cleared out. Now you got to go to the next person and clear that all up. Okay, so go through each step on each employee. And if you want to add a new employee, you'd have to go through each step on that employee as well. Okay, so now we have all our employee information in there, except for these. We're just going to go ahead and say continue. Okay, so it takes me to the taxes section. All right, so we get to set up our general taxes. So all of these are preset in the system again. Federal withholding, we can take a look at what it says here. Federal withholding, liability account, which liability account do you want it to go towards? It's not going to let us because we already have it set up. So you can look at all these different taxes, but you can't do anything with them here in this payroll setup interview. Okay, so I'm going to say continue. What are my state taxes? Add those in here. Say continue. What are my payment schedules? When do I pay these? Quarterly, monthly. So unless you have something specific to your business, then you're just going to go ahead and follow these scheduled payments. Okay, we're going to go ahead and say continue. Now is where you enter your year-to-date payroll. All right. So first thing you want to do is you want to determine if you even need to. Has your company issued paychecks this year? Yes or no? So if the answer is yes, you're going to say continue. Okay, and you're going to go in here and enter Now you can do, okay, so first of all, let's say Dan T. Miller first. Okay, so it's going to fill in Dan's information. Okay, now because I'm in a demo file, it already has some information filled in here for me. But if you're entering your information for, you could do it on a per month basis if you need to, or you can do a summary on the quarter. Right now, this is not going to show up too great because, again, I already have information in here for this demo file. But we have another video on how to enter the summary information and detailed information. All right. I'm just going to go ahead and say done for now. Okay, so you've entered your paycheck information. Now you need to make sure to go in and enter your tax payments. Then also go back and enter your non-tax payments. Okay, so health payments that you had to pay, 401k that you've already paid, everything like this. So if I go into tax payments here, all right, we can go ahead and enter the amounts that we've already paid. So based on what we entered for our payroll data ahead of time, it will calculate what our taxes are. And you could come in here and say, this is how much you've already paid in taxes. Okay, so you could add it up, plus 15, okay. Let's say save. All right, so now it's saying that you've overpaid by $27, and then that would be reflected on your next filing. Okay, so you can calculate all of that here. And again, we cover this in another video, more detail. Okay, so you enter all your payments. Okay. Then we're going to go ahead and say continue. And now it's saying that your payroll setup is complete. So you're ready to go ahead and process payroll. Again, I'm sure you can hear it in my voice even. Going through that payroll setup menu, I really don't like it. So I would definitely recommend looking at the alternative ways to set up payroll and not having to go through that process there. So go ahead and check out that video.